Welcome everyone, welcome to Pranayama practice for this week. So we're going to explore today working with what we call Kumbhaka. And Kumbhaka is a Sanskrit word for the breath retention, so when we're holding our breath in. And there's a translation of that word that kind of means a container or a pot. And so this Kumbhaka, the Antar Kumbhaka, which is when we hold our breath at the top of the inhale, it's like this full container of air. And then when we hold the breath at the bottom of the exhalation, Bahir Kumbhaka, there's this kind of empty container, if you like. And so through a couple of practices, we're just going to be exploring those breath holds and dropping into kind of the stillness that's in that space. And personally, for me, I find these breath practices such a wonderful kind of lead into meditation and finding a calmer and stiller mind in meditation, because you can really feel those spaces between the breaths feel very spacious, if you like. There's this kind of, because we're feeling the embodiment of that space, it's like you can go, oh, that's what space feels like, and then your mind kind of follows along. That's kind of how it works for me anyway. But explore it yourself. So we're going to be doing some box breathing today, and box breathing is usually pretty safe for anyone to do. I mean, obviously, if it doesn't feel right in your body, then you can change the count, make the count shorter, or you can skip the holds if they're really not, and just make them very short if they're not feeling good for you. Sometimes with blood pressure, holding the breath for long periods of time can make you feel not great. And also if you're pregnant, we're going to do the box breath with an equal count, and then we're going to start to move towards exploring extending the time that the breath is held in. So it's rather than Sammavrti, it's Nisammavrti, which is like an unequal ratio of the in-breath, hold, out-breath and hold. If you're pregnant, you don't want to hold your breath for a long time. So generally sort of a count of 5 or 6 would be the maximum that you would hold your breath. You can still explore longer exhalation. The exhalation is also a very calming part of the breath. And so we're going to move towards extending the holds and the exhale, and the inhale just stays the same. So I'll guide you through the whole thing. And we'll start just by sitting up nice and tall, finding length along your spine. We want to try and create this container with our body so that our breath can kind of move in freely and smoothly. If you feel like you want to move to start with, maybe you take some circles with your ribs and your shoulders, take some side stretches, anything that you feel might ease this body out so that it can receive the breath more deeply. Please feel free to do that in your own time. And as you become ready, you can just let yourself move into stillness, closing your eyes, perhaps, or turning your gaze down, softening the eyes. Let's take a moment here to acknowledge the country that we practice on, acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which you practice and their elders, and the wisdom that has been passed down. You might like to set yourself an intention for practice today. And start to find the sort of natural rhythm of your breath. So see if you can really turn your attention towards how you're breathing. Soften through your face and your shoulders as you allow that breath to be received and then to release. Noticing here the natural ratios of your breath. How long is the inhale? How long is the exhale? Are there any kind of natural spaces between the inhale and the exhale. And as best you can, breathing in and out through your nose. And let's start to control the breath a little more, expand the breath with this pranayama. And so the box breath, I'm going to guide you to inhale, hold, exhale and hold for the count of 4 for each. So we're keeping it equal, Visammavrti, for this first part of the practice. And I'll guide you, but as I said, if you need to shift that count to be a bit smaller for your breath, feel free to. I'll take an emptying out breath first. Inhale. Exhale fully. And let's inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. One more like this. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And then just let that go. Allow your breath to lead you rather than you guiding the breath. Noticing, again, just the quality of the breath, the length of the breath, what's present here. Letting go of any judgment or expectation. Reflecting here on how it felt for each of those parts of the breath. Now we're going to change that ratio, that count, and we're going to be breathing in for 4 still, and then we're going to hold the breath for the count of 8, and then breathe out for the count of 8, and hold for the count of 4. So it's a 1, 2, 2, 1 ratio. So 4, 8, 8, 4. And you can play around with this ratio. I'm going to guide you with that for the first few rounds. And then you can start to do a few rounds on your own where you see what it's like to extend the inhale, extend the exhale, maybe even extend the hold at the bottom. One of my teachers used to say that if you can get your pranayama technique to the point where you are taking 1 breath every minute, then it has massive effects on your nervous system, and it really does. You know, it takes some practice, but if you can get to the point where, say, you're breathing in for 6 and then holding, so that will be another ratio of 2, holding for 12, and then you might breathe out with a ratio as 4. So you're breathing out for 24 and then you're holding for another like 12, and it becomes almost a full minute of breath. My maths really left me there. Normally good with numbers. So explore it, see what it's like. You don't necessarily need to rely on the count and trying to work out and calculate in your head. You could start to let it be a bit more free-flowing and just see what it's like to hold your breath until it's full capacity. You don't want to be gasping, but just exploring that and breathing out for as long as you can, and then holding out as long as you can before you take that next breath in. And we try and keep that in breath as a steady count. So we'll do 4 for now. All right, let's practice. Inhale. Exhale with a sigh. And we're breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. One more like this. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Keep going. Let's start to either contract or expand that count as you need. And if you use your bandhas, if you're comfortable with that, you might find that gentle lift at the pelvic floor, slight drawing up of Uddiyana Bandha, the lower belly, maybe a gentle tuck of the chin at the start, at the Kumbhakas. Particularly if you're starting to hold the breath for longer, those bandhas really work to support you. Keep that prana in the container. And really exploring how those kumbhakas, those retentions feel, those spaces where there's no breath. Is there fear there, anxiety, uncertainty? Maybe some intense physical sensation. Make sure that you're not gasping as you take your breath in. And if you do, let that be a little insight to maybe go a little easier on the count for the next round. And let's do one more. And as you finish your next round, you can just let your breath relax. Relaxing your belly and your pelvic floor if you've been using the bandhas there. Give your shoulders a little shrug and your head a little roll. And then just allowing yourself to settle into stillness. And as you let that container go, just noticing again the natural rhythm of your breath. What might have shifted? You're welcome to stay seated or even lie down here for a few minutes as you just allow your body to relax and breathe in its own way, so that your breath is leading you, leading your awareness. And allowing yourself perhaps to savor those spaces between the breaths. Noticing how the vibration of sound arises out of that silence and space. Taking yourself a deeper breath. And coming back to sit up nice and tall. You might bring the palms of your hands together. This gesture of really honouring the space you created for yourself to practice today. You might offer that up in some way. And as you're ready to, you can let your head bow gently towards your heart, blink open your eyes, and bring yourself gently back into your world. And hope that practice was good for you. There's some complicated kind of ratios of breath going on there and Kumbhaka, so it's a little bit more of an intermediate practice. So if you didn't get it straight away, that's totally okay. But there is such benefit in these pranayams and really exploring those holding of the breath, as long as that feels safe for you. So you can always come back to this video again and keep practicing. The more you practice, the more you strengthen your ability to extend those pauses and extend those exhalations. Any questions, please get in touch. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Bye.